Hi! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for a special UFC 291 breakdown where we are going to be talking about not a championship belt, the BMF title.
The baddest motherfucker.
Shut your mouth. Trying to do the whole baddest mother.
That was good.
But anyway,
Yeah.
the BMF title today is going to be fought between Dustin Poirer and Justin Gaethje. Sheldon, do you want to take us straight into this one?
Yeah, sure, man. Well, first off, I feel like there's no better options. Let's get that out of the way. You've got Dustin Poirer and Justin Gaethje. You're Dustin and Justin. Fuck. Yeah, it's just, look, it's the two perfect guys. There's no one else. These are the two guys that will always put on a show, that will always just, someone will bleed, you know? Mm-hmm. And they've both had, I mean, at this point, they've fought everyone else in the top five besides each other, like recently. You know, this is going to be their second fight. Yeah, this is going to be their second fight. But they've both fought Charles recently. They've both fought Chandler. Thing is, there's no one else better. And it is quite surprising that the BMF belt is back. I really thought it was going to be a one and done. But look, it's not the worst thing in the world. I quite like it. And I definitely think these are just two great guys for it. And look, there's not much to speak about. Everyone at this point knows their skills. You know, they're great on the ground. They're great on the feet. They're great everywhere. You know, it's just going to be a great fight.
Yeah, so as you say, a lot of crazy similarities with these guys. Same age, same height.
Same everything.
They've fought the same people. They've lost against a lot of the same people in recent history. Their first fight was very telling, though. It was a war, which Dustin Poirer ended up coming up with a TKO win, with a lot of solid body shots and just working it with that technical striking. Justin Gaethje almost kicked his leg completely off in that fight. It was ridiculous. But something that we need to account for now is that Justin Gaethje, his jiu-jitsu has been found out. It's been found out to be lacking. He has incredible grappling. He has incredible, it's hard to take him down to the ground. His scrambles are amazing because of that wrestling background. But once he's down there, he's like a fish out of water. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's gotten tapped by Khabib. He's gotten tapped by Charlie Olives. And I think that Dustin Poirer, especially after that last submission win that he got, he might be able to, use that to his advantage a little bit, unless he wants to just make a massive show for the fans. There are rumors that, or I don't know if it's a rumor or a joke, but they wanted to have Jorge Masvidal put the belts on them.
I think they're going to actually do that, eh? I think that's going to be a thing. He's going to be there, put the belts on the guy.
So yeah, this is a great one for the BMF title. Now, going straight into our co-main event, we have Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira. Now, this fight is very, very interesting because they really had a chance here to make this fight for the light heavyweight championship. As you know, Jamal Hill recently injured his Achilles tendon, and now he's out. So he vacated the belt.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's 2 vacations in the light heavyweight title. And I think it's something ridiculous. There have been 5 light heavyweight champions since John Jones relinquished the belt. So now Alex Pereira, as you know, ex-UFC middleweight champion, had all of those wars with Israel Adesanya. One of the most powerful men in the middleweight division is now coming up to the light heavyweight division, going up against Jan Blachowicz, the Polish power. Yeah. Now, Jan, of course, he has the grappling advantage, but is it going to get there?
Yeah.
In time? Because Alex Pereira is one of the most technical, powerful strikers that we've seen in the UFC.
Okay, first of everything you said, I agree with. But the one thing I will point out is that, Jan's got really good grappling, but Pereira trains with Glover constantly. I recently saw a video of them practicing grappling in a river. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but and I feel Glover choked out Jan. And if there's someone who's going to teach you about ground game and jiu-jitsu and all this stuff, it's Glover Teixeira, So I definitely think people don't just assume, once he's on the ground, he's going to be useless. I definitely think he's going to, obviously not as good as Jan, but he's definitely going to show a lot of skill. But look, Alex Pereira is just a big man. In fact, I'm pretty sure on fight day he's going to be bigger than Jan. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a huge man. And this is quite surprising. Jan is ranked 3rd, and Alex, who's never had a fight, is ranked 2nd. It's quite interesting. I find that very interesting. But I personally think Alex Pereira he's just too tough. He's just a specimen of a human being. And I personally think he's more than likely going to win it. But if Polish power, like that prime champion Polish power shows up, it's going to be a great fight. Because ever since Jan lost the belt, it's been a bit it hasn't been great for him. He had the whole Rakic fight, which was Rakic injured, just got injured, and then he had the god awful terrible fight against Magomed. So look, it hasn't been great for him, but this is a good chance for him to come back and be like, I am Polish power.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't had a definitive win in quite a while.
Definitely.
But now, going on to probably one of the more exciting bouts.
I don't know about that, man. I'm actually nervous.
I'm quite nervous too.
Yeah.
As you know, we're big Tony Ferguson fans, and watching the downfall of Tony Ferguson has been
tough.
It's been emotionally difficult.
It's been tough,
to say the least. So, Tony Ferguson is going up against Bobby Green.
Yeah.
Now, this is a really great opportunity for both men. T-Ferg, as you know, after losing horribly to Justin Gaethje and getting KO'd in that 5th round, where he more than likely got some kind of brain damage or
Something
CTE.
happened, yeah.
Something definitely happened in that fight, in our opinion. We're not doctors. He's gone on a 4-fight losing streak.
That's sad, bro.
Losing horribly to Beneil Dariush, getting KO'd by Michael Chandler, and most recently getting choked out by fucking Nate Diaz.
And Nate Diaz's retirement fight, dude.
Nate Diaz's retirement fight.
Yeah, so that first round Michael Chandler fight, he was looking good. But then we all know Michael Chandler knocked him out. And then that Nate Diaz fight, he just did not look good, man. He did not look like the Tony Ferguson that we all know and love.
Looked slow.
And he just... honestly, when he got choked out, it almost looked like he gave up a little bit. It was quite sad. So I think in terms of opponent, I think Bobby Green is a perfect choice. It's someone who's sort of similar to Tony. He's been there for a while. He wins, he loses, he's up and down. He's always just there, keen for a paycheck and keen there to, just to fight. So I think it's a great opponent for him. But just I'm scared, dude, because I don't know if I can watch Tony lose again.
Yeah.
If he gets knocked out, I'm gonna. Dude, I don't know.
I also worry about the speed of Bobby Green's hands. As we know, Tony's gotten a lot slower in the recent years.
Definitely.
And Bobby Green, you can see in his fights against Ali Quinta, he's got incredibly fast hands. And he does have knockout power when he does decide to use those fast hands.
And that speed hasn't slowed down, yeah.
That speed hasn't slowed down at all. I think Tony Ferguson, the advantage he might have in this fight is in the grappling realm, in the submission realm, if he decides to take the fight down there. But I worry about the stand-up with Bobby Green, and I really just hope that T-Ferg gets this W. This one's going to be a pretty tough fight for both men, but a very telling fight for both men.
I think if he loses, he's got to retire, dude. I can't watch him fight anymore after that.
Yeah, the odds makers have this on Bobby Green at the moment.
Yeah.
The minus 345. So, going on to our welterweight division, we have a pretty interesting, almost like a comeback fight for Michael Chiesa, who's been out for almost a year now.
Yeah.
Against Kevin Holland, the always active dude. So Sheldon, take us straight into this one.
So this one, I'm actually kind of keen for this fight. So Michael Chiesa, as you said, he didn't fight the whole of 2022. He had a fight against Leach earlier this year that got cancelled. And so basically, he went on the 5-fight win streak, and then he lost to Vicente Luque really badly, and then he lost to Sean Brady, and then he kind of just disappeared. He went quiet. I know he's still around doing the ESPN commentator booth job, whatever it is, but he just hasn't fought. So this is his big comeback fight back in the welterweight, and it's actually great that it's up against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland always puts on a show. He won his last fight, and then I think, what's he on? 2-fight streak or 1? Something like that. He's been recently up and down. He's won, he's lost. He's lost 2, won another one. So he's always just keen to fight, and I think this one, if it stays on the feet, Kevin Holland's definitely going to have the reach, going to have the length, and just going to have that active experience of being constantly fighting recently. That I don't think that he'll probably give Chiesa a lot of trouble. And if it goes to the ground, look, we know that Kevin Holland has improved his ground game a lot since everyone called him out on it. But Chiesa is good on the ground. And he's strong on the ground. And his body, he was a lightweight. And when he went up to welterweight, it was all just muscle, Yeah. And Kevin Holland's a naturally skinny dude. So I think...
But that's a tricky one, though, because Kevin Holland used to fight middleweight. Now he's done at welterweight.
True.
He's fighting a guy who is lightweight going up to welterweight. So their sizes are actually going to be quite similar.
Good point.
I don't want to make that a thing. But what I do want to mention on or touch on further is This is the classic matchup of striker versus grappler.
Yeah.
So Kevin Holland, as we know, the people he does lose to are always some of the best. Like if we're looking at his last 3 losses, we've got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, we've got Hamza Chimaev, and we've got your Marvin Vittoris and your Derrick Brunsons.
Yeah.
All right. But in between those, he's gotten himself one submission with Tim Means, and he's gotten himself a few KO TKOs.
Recently, yeah, one was a headbutt, but yeah.
No, you're thinking of Bobby Green.
No, he got the he headbutted Kyle Dawkins hard.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But
we're gonna cut that out the video.
I think what you're saying is totally true though. Classic striker versus grappler, who will win? You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, moving on to another welterweight bout that I think is just going to be flashy as hell, man. We've got your Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson versus Michel Pereira. And like I said, these are just 2 guys who just love to just put on a spectacle. Michel Pereira is just doing, I swear to God, if he does a backflip into like a roundhouse kick from Stephen Thompson, it would be the coolest shit ever. You know what I mean? So Stephen Thompson, I mean, everyone knows Wonder Boy. He's a classic. He always puts on a great fight. He's got the karate stance. He's just a devastating just striker, kicker, just everything, you know? And well, he won his last fight. I think it was against Kevin Holland. That was the last fight, right?
Yeah, his last fight was his dub against Kevin Holland.
And then, so he's always, I think he's on a 3-fight win streak at the moment, or not. Anyways, look, he's a man, he's always ranked top 10, and his opponent, Michel Pereira, is on a 5-fight win streak at the moment, which, like, from what he was coming for before, that's perfect, man. So this is definitely him. He's back in the top 15, and this is sort of his new run for the title, you know?
Yeah, Michel Pereira, he's really trying to take himself up to that next level.
Oh, yeah.
So really what we're looking at a flamboyant striker in Michel Pereira versus a very technically sound striker in Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And usually in kickboxing fights, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson wins.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Michel Pereira really utilize his grappling to a really high extent, like to a really serious extent, to the point where, like, I feel like he's going to be threatening Wonderboy.
Yeah.
We also need to remember that Wonderboy's been in there with some of the best wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
And particularly, most recently, he's been in really tough fights with wrestlers. Guys like Bilal Muhammad, who just held him down for 5 rounds. Guys like Gilbert Burns. I mean, Gilbert Burns not really a wrestler, but a big jiu-jitsu guy, so we understand the control. And that was kind of the blueprint for how to beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. When Kevin Holland went into that fight, he thought he was just going to, like, outstrike him.
Yeah.
And if Michel Pereira goes into this fight with that same mentality, I don't think it's going to end very well.
No, it won't. I think Stephen Thompson will just get an easy win.
Straight up.
Yeah, but that definitely, I don't see this one going to decision. I hope not, but yeah.
I hope not.
But moving on to, it is a really, really good fight. It's a heavyweight bout. We got Derrick Lewis versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So first off, your boy Derrick Lewis. Now, as everyone knows, he's on a bit of a skid. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. But that being said, it's a knockout from Tuivasa, a knockout from Pavlovich, and a submission from Spivak. All 3 of them, like rising contenders in the heavyweight division. All of them are just really, really good fighters. But it still sucks for him. It's hard to see him lose like that. But yeah, look, he's Derrick Lewis. He's the Black Beast. You know everything about him. He's just there to stand and bang. Jiu-jitsu doesn't work on him. He doesn't go to the ground. Someone's getting knocked out, you know? And his opponent, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, surprisingly is very similar. He's got a very similar build. If he doesn't get a submission, he's pretty much just doing the same. Just standing and just stand and bang. Just full out war, you know? I definitely see this going like a knockout in the first round. I'm just hoping that, look, Derrick's getting older and he's been knocked out hard in 2 out of his last 3 fights. I hope he's still got that chin and he's still, that devastating monster.
Yeah, so with this fight, Derrick Lewis, our UFC KO king, with the most knockouts in UFC history. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, he is a dude who, I believe because of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, it allows him to have the confidence to just swing because he knows that if he goes to the ground, he's going to be able to get it finished down there too. I wonder if he's going to go into this fight and be like, screw it, we're going to meet in the middle and we're going to scrap. and then it's going to be like a good fight for Derrick Lewis, like it's going to be like a really great, entertaining battle, or if he's going to just try to shoot for that takedown and get that submission
just
early
get that
on
easy win, yeah.
and not get hurt. But Marcos is really, he's really trying to elevate himself up in the heavyweight division. He used to be a light heavyweight fighter, put on a few pounds. Now he's up in the heavyweight division, and he's trying to really, start his ascent up the ladder.
And a win over Derrick Lewis is always a great way to do that,
It's huge.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that Derrick Lewis, he only loses to top guys.
Yeah, that's
Sergey
so
Spivak,
true.
he's doing really well at the moment. Tai Tuivasa, Cyril Gahn. I mean, the guy has a win over Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
It's the most boring fight in the history of the UFC.
But it's a win.
But it's a win
over the Predator.
Francis Ngannou, who's fighting Tyson Fury.
Crazy, dude. So that's going to be a great heavyweight bout. Like I said, I don't see it going past the first round. I don't even see it going past like the first minute, dude, or the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I can definitely see them having a slow start, and then someone's gonna just start throwing a flurry, and then his opponent's just gonna be like, "Oh, you want to do this? Let's do this," and then someone's gonna drop.
And the last kind of fight that we want to talk about in the prelims is the Gabriel Bonfim versus Trevin Giles. So now, Trevin Giles is a guy who, he was a middleweight. He's gone down to welterweight now. He had that knockout where he got KO'd by Dricus du Plessis.
It scared him so much that he went down a weight division, bro.
And Trevin Giles is a dude, he's got that like classic Philly shell kind of like striking style.
Yeah.
And he's got like really good quick hands. But as history has shown, he has a questionable chin. Gabriel Bonfim, he hasn't really been fighting in the UFC for a while. He's got one UFC fight, and it's one win in the first round via guillotine.
Okay.
When he was striking in that fight, he kind of kept his chin quite high up. Whilst he was striking. And like I thought he was going to get caught, but his opponent just went for like a stupid takedown, and he got that arm in and just like finished it. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think the UFC is trying to do the whole striker versus grappler thing, but I think Gabriel Bonfim, he's part of this new generation of fighters where, like, we kind of do everything. We're better at some stuff, but we kind of do everything. And Trevin Giles got good submission defense.
He does.
Good hands, as we say, but I worry about that chin, man.
And also a lot of, like most recently, a lot of Trevin Giles wins have all just been decision, so that makes me believe that, like, maybe even though he's got good striking, maybe he just doesn't have the power behind it to like actually make a difference. But look, his opponent as well, when you watch that fight, I always feel like you got to give respect to guys who, like, when he jumped on that guillotine, it's like a split-second reaction. Yeah. And you're busy trying to figure out what this guy's doing, and you can already figure out, oh, there's a guillotine here, hang on. So he's very, he's very intense, very alert. Seems like he's very, off that fight alone, though, it just seems very, like, focused, and his reaction time is very, very quick. And I actually don't see which way this is going to go. It's just going to be a good fight.
Straight up.
Yeah, man.
All right. And that's INTS on MMA today.
Woo!
Check out the fights and tell us what you think. Tell us who you think is going to be the new BMF champion. Who are you rooting for? Do you think Wonderboy is going to get it done against Michelle Pereira? Do you think Jan is going to become the two-time light heavyweight champion after beating Alex Pereira? What's going to happen, guys?
Exactly. Let us know.
Let us know.
For a second, I thought you were about to just start chanting. Yeah, that's where I thought we were going.